Head of the FIU, Superintendent Tafawa Pear, says after this training, potential inspectors will have a better understanding of what's required of them when investigating institutions for acts of money laundering and terrorist financing. But he says institutions must also play their part in assisting the FIU through the training of their own employees as stipulated by the Act.
The legislation suggests that entities must train their employees on aspects of money laundering and terrorism financing, and not just the ground staff but up to the board level. And that there must be some sense that the board, through its own policy, is trying to effect how the money laundering policy is, of course, played out on the ground. So we want to see a synergy between the low staff, between the management, between the board of directors, and how that play out with strengthening and really reducing vulnerabilities. All right? We're trying to keep out the threats that exist.
Over 20 officials from the Office of the Attorney General, the Royal Grenada Police Force, Chambers of the Directors of Public Prosecution, Customs and Excise, Inland Revenue Department, Grenada Ports Authority, Grenada Postal Corporation and the Financial Intelligence Unit are currently undergoing this training. The agencies came together under the umbrella known as the Technical Working Group. Pear said the threats of money laundering is very real.
Well, of course, the Act allows us, is a tool really, is a tool which we get legitimacy to go into financial institution and to actually see how the policies and procedures played out on the ground. So we are able to do off-site inspection, and we're also able to go in the particular institution and interview its employees, interview management, look at its systems, look at independent testing, look at its policies, and get a sense as to whether or not the practices that are employed within the system has its basis in what the legislation requires. Well, terrorism financing, we cannot say for sure that it exists. We have not identified any transaction that is linked to terrorism thus far, and we're grateful for that. But when it comes to money laundering, it's of course very prevalent. Once there is criminal activity in a country or in any financial space, when there's criminal activity that is able to generate funds, then of course there's money laundering.
Government has amended several pieces of legislation in Parliament to enhance the island's compliance to the Financial Action Task Force regulations. These legislation will empower the FIU to investigate acts of terrorist financing and money laundering more effectively. Colin Campbell, GBA News.